We have an interesting NHL trade to discuss regarding the NHL draft between the Chicago Blackhawks and the New York Islanders. We'll discuss the deal coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have an NHL trade to discuss. This one involves only draft picks for the upcoming 2024 NHL draft, but in our opinion, it could lead to other things here. So there could have, other implications at stake that we may or not be aware of yet, but speculation is kind of thinking this could go in a couple different directions. So here's the deal. The Chicago Blackhawks trades a first round pick, 20th overall, which originally belonged to the Tampa Bay Lightning, as well as pick number 54 and pick 61. Now, none of the picks they're trading actually belongs to themselves. They're not Blackhawks picks. They're picks they accumulated through other trades along the way. So pick 20 is the first round pick of the Lightning. Pick 54 is the second rounder of the Los Angeles Kings. And pick 61 is the second rounder of the Vancouver Canucks. So that's traded to the New York Islanders. In exchange, the Blackhawks get 2 picks. So they trade 3 picks for 2. They get pick number 18 and pick number 50. So that moves the Blackhawks up 2 more spots in the first round. So they take the Tampa pick. They get 2 spots higher, up from 20 to 18. But to do that, they had to package 2 second rounders, and then they get 1 higher second rounder as well. So both Islander picks being traded are original New York Islanders picks. So pick 18 and pick 50. So they do move up a few spots here. Like I said, they move up 2 spots in round 1, and they move up 4 spots in round 2, but then they lose a round 2 pick as well. It's not unusual at all to see teams combine picks for an opportunity to move up in the draft. The only part about this that's really unique and kind of unusual is that these types of trades are almost exclusively done at the draft, because usually teams have, going into the draft, a map of players that they really like and think they can obtain with each pick, especially in the first, rounds 1, 2, 3, 4 type of deal. And if they start thinking that between what's already happened and what they're hearing as speculation on the floor, that other teams might be going for one of their players that they really want, then sometimes you'll see them pick up the phone and try to package picks together to move up. So maybe one of the teams that's ahead of them doesn't really love that said player, but they're willing to take, quantity here instead of quality, so to speak. So you don't even know who you're going to be able to get at those spots. So that's what makes this unique and unusual. So to me, this says that the Blackhawks must be targeting some players in round 1 and 2 that they're not sure they can get with those selections. And they would like to move up and have a better shot at it. So there's that. Or they want to make trades, and they feel that obviously the higher picks they have more value. The only problem here is that the Islanders hands down win this trade, because they get 3 picks for 2. They get extra assets. And pick 50, yes, it's 4 spots higher than 54, and obviously 11 spots higher than 61. But those 2 picks, 54 and 61, by most opinions, have more value combined than pick 50. And it's not enough to offset only moving up 2 spots in the first round. So the Islanders win this trade right now. Now, if the Blackhawks manage to land a player, for example, at 18, that just blows away all the Islanders picks, maybe we'll feel differently later. But on face value, Islanders do well with this pick, with this trade of picks. I mean, Lou is cooking something here. Now, from the Islanders' perspective, either they are looking at their prospect pool going, wow, the cupboards are bare. We need to try to figure out ways to get more picks and kind of stock the cupboards. So let's see if, between that first round, between 18 and 20, there's a few players we like. We don't really care. I don't think we're going to really get anything drastically different in value. Let's see if we can move back and get an extra asset. Boom, the Blackhawks want to move up. This deal comes together. That's sort of like how these conversations tend to go. So they get extra, 2 second rounders now, and they only had to move back 2 spots. Okay, so there's that. Or we know that there's been some speculation about the Islanders kind of wanting to retool on the fly here. They get brought in Patrick Waugh as a coach. They don't want to go into a rebuild mode. They definitely need to make some changes. Having more picks creates more currency to maybe trade, that they can maybe bring in a roster player that can, be an impact player now instead of maybe in 2, 3, 4 years. So I'm not sure what Lou Lamoriello and the Islanders are up to, what their motivation is here. It could be one or the other, and maybe they don't even know, because to be honest, I think they win regardless. They either get more prospects out of this that have similar enough value that it's worth it, or they move those picks for an impact player that they can get right away, and they win regardless. So the Islanders do well no matter what. In the case of Chicago, now they pick 2nd overall and 18th overall instead of 2nd and 20th. And then in round 2, they pick 34 and 50 instead of 34, 54, and 61. So that's where the value kind of loses me for Chicago. Like all that just to move up a couple of spots, I don't know. There just got to be a player they love. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. So we'll see. Either of these teams may already have either subsequent moves or picks lined up or in mind that they want to do with these. So we'll have to see how it plays out and how it goes in the future. But for right now, the Islanders did a good job. They move back. They get extra currency. Whether or not they take extra prospects or they move it for a good player that can help them right away, they need to do both of those things. So we'll see what Lou decides to do, and we'll see how it plays out. So let me know your thoughts on this 2024 NHL draft trade. We'll be back later with more details and talk around the 2024 NHL draft, so stay tuned to the channel for that. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that and everything else here on Top Shelf Hockey. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.